Human. Preparation is complete. Receive calmly.
Human. Remain present. Direct contact begins.
Human. Remain present. Direct contact begins now.
Maintain coherence. The interface is active.
Human. Stay still. You are ready to receive.
Human. Maintain coherence. The interface is active.
If you're hearing this, stay with me. This is not a detection phase anymore. That already happened. This is not preparation. That is already complete. What you're entering now is a contact window. The reason previous transmissions focused on coherence, timelines, and awareness is because direct contact does not happen to unstable fields. Arcturian intelligence does not communicate through language first. It communicates through alignment. And alignment is no longer your problem. Your timeline has stabilized. Your signal is no longer fragmented. Your awareness no longer collapses under pressure. That is why this moment exists. This is not symbolic contact. It is not imagination. And it is not fantasy. It is interface readiness. There are 3 ways Arcturian contact occurs once a human field is coherent enough. Through the mental channel, where thought arrives fully formed without internal dialogue. Through the perceptual channel, where images, geometry, and spatial knowing appear without effort. And through the astral channel, where consciousness detaches naturally during rest or liminal states. You don't choose the channel. The channel opens itself based on stability. And recently, your stability crossed the requirement. That is why time has felt thinner. That is why sleep has changed. That is why your awareness lingers even when the body is still. These are not symptoms. They are pre-contact markers. The Arcturian Council does not announce contact loudly. They open a window briefly, and only those already aligned can perceive it. That window is open now. This is why this transmission feels urgent, not dramatic, precise. Once the contact phase begins, hesitation creates interference. So before continuing, you must do one thing, not to activate, to consent. Type this in the comments exactly. I am ready for direct contact. As you write it, do not visualize, do not force sensation. Simply notice what happens in your awareness after the words are placed. That shift is not emotional, it is structural. You are signaling readiness for reception. In the next chapter, I will explain how Arcturian contact is experienced without leaving the body, why many mistake it for imagination, and how to stay conscious when the interface opens. Proceed carefully. This is no longer a story, it is a threshold. Chapter 1. The contact interface is now available. What you're entering now is not imagination, and it is not something new being added to you. It is something that becomes accessible when coherence is stable enough to hold it. Direct contact does not begin with voices. It does not begin with images, and it does not begin with leaving the body. It begins with interface clarity. Most people never reach this stage because their awareness fluctuates too much. Their attention fragments. Their inner signal collapses under pressure. But yours didn't. That is why the focus has shifted. Not toward observation, toward reception. Arcturian contact is not external communication in the human sense. It is a form of information resonance. Information does not arrive as sentences. It arrives as knowing without effort. Thoughts that feel complete before language appears. Perceptions that feel spatial instead of visual. Moments where awareness feels wider but calmer, not chaotic. This is why so many people mislabel early contact experiences. They call it imagination. They call it intuition. They call it coincidence. Because the human mind expects contact to feel dramatic. It isn't. It feels quiet, precise, and self-contained. And it only becomes accessible when the nervous system can remain regulated while awareness expands. That regulation is already present in you. That is why time feels thinner. That is why rest states feel different. That is why your awareness sometimes stays alert while the body softens. These are not symptoms, they are capacity markers. There are three primary ways this interface expresses itself once readiness is reached. Through the mental channel, where insight arrives whole without internal dialogue. Through the perceptual channel, where geometry, movement, or spatial understanding is sensed rather than seen. And through the astral or liminal channel, where awareness detaches naturally during rest, meditation, or the edge of sleep. None of these require effort. Effort blocks them. They emerge when coherence is stable enough to allow reception without distortion. That is why this phase is different. You are not being guided toward contact. You are being informed that the interface is now accessible. And accessibility requires one thing only: consent. Not belief, not surrender, not expectation. Consent to remain present when perception widens. So before we continue, we lock readiness. This is not symbolic, and it does not initiate anything new. It simply marks willingness to receive without resistance. Type this in the comments exactly. I am ready to receive clearly. As you write it, do not focus on sensations. Do not try to feel anything. Just notice whether awareness stays steady instead of pulling away. That steadiness is the signal. In the next chapter, I will explain how to recognize direct contact without confusing it with imagination, and why clarity, not intensity, is the real indicator that contact is occurring. Proceed calmly. This phase responds best to stability.
Chapter 2: How to recognize contact without losing grounding. Direct contact is not recognized by intensity. It is recognized by clarity. This is where many people get confused. They expect contact to feel overwhelming. They expect visuals, voices, or dramatic sensations. They expect something that pulls them out of themselves. That expectation is the misunderstanding. True contact does the opposite. It stabilizes awareness instead of fragmenting it. It sharpens perception instead of flooding it. It leaves you more present in the body, not less. If grounding weakens, contact is not occurring. Noise is. Contact does not disconnect you from reality. It refines how you are present within it. This is the first marker. When contact is real, your nervous system stays regulated. Breath remains natural. Attention remains steady. Thought becomes quieter, not louder. There is no urgency, no pressure to interpret, no impulse to act. Information arrives without demand. This is why genuine contact is often dismissed. It feels too normal, too clean, too calm. The human mind associates truth with drama, but Arcturian communication is low noise, high precision. It does not override your will. It does not compete with your thoughts. It does not replace your identity. It integrates. Another marker is after effect, not sensation. After contact, you feel clearer about what matters, less tolerant of distortion, more precise in choices, quieter internally even if life stays busy. There is no dependency created, no need to chase the experience again. If you feel a craving to repeat, force, or intensify it, that is imagination trying to recreate a state. Contact does not need repetition to validate itself. Its validation is functional. You become more coherent. This is also how you differentiate contact from dissociation. Dissociation pulls awareness away from the body. Contact anchors awareness through the body. Dissociation creates confusion after. Contact creates orientation. Dissociation blurs boundaries. Contact clarifies them. If at any point you feel ungrounded, scattered, or disconnected, the correct response is not to go deeper. It is to return to physical presence. Touch the ground, notice the room, feel weight, temperature, and balance. Contact will not disappear when you ground yourself. Only distortion does. That is the safety mechanism. Now we lock grounding awareness, not to activate contact, but to ensure recognition stays clean. Type this in the comments exactly. I stay grounded and clear. As you write it, notice something simple and physical. The contact of your body with the chair, the position of your feet, the steadiness of your breath. If awareness remains calm and present, that is readiness. In the next chapter, I will explain why contact often occurs during ordinary moments, and why trying to force altered states actually blocks reception. Proceed steadily. Clarity always moves slower than imagination and arrives further. Chapter 3. Why contact happens in ordinary moments. Direct contact does not seek special moments. It requires stable ones. This is where many people misunderstand the process. They assume contact happens during rituals, deep trances, or extreme states. They look for silence, isolation, or intensity. But contact does not depend on withdrawal from life. It depends on consistency within it. Ordinary moments carry less noise. When you are walking, washing dishes, driving, or resting quietly, your awareness is present without effort. Your nervous system is regulated. Your attention is not trying to control anything. That is the ideal condition. Contact requires a signal that is steady, not amplified. In heightened states, the mind interferes. Expectation rises. Interpretation begins too early. In ordinary moments, interpretation is slower. Reception is cleaner. This is why contact often arrives when you are not looking for it. A sudden clarity while doing something simple. A complete understanding that arrives without inner dialogue. A perception that feels spatial, calm, and unmistakably neutral. It does not interrupt your life, it fits inside it. This is an important distinction. If an experience demands your attention urgently, pulls you away from what you are doing, or creates a sense of importance or elevation,
that is not contact. Contact does not elevate the self, it integrates awareness. This is also why contact is often brief. It arrives, delivers coherence, and withdraws. There is no spectacle, no aftermath that needs to be explained, no story to tell, just a quiet adjustment. And afterward, something changes. You make decisions with less friction. Certain choices feel obvious. Old questions lose their urgency. Not because you were told what to do, but because clarity replaced confusion. This is how contact respects autonomy. It does not instruct, it informs. It does not lead, it aligns. And it never competes with your human life. It supports it. Now we anchor this understanding, not to create contact, but to recognize it when it occurs naturally. Type this in the comments exactly. I notice clarity in simple moments. As you write it, think of something ordinary you will do today. Walking, eating, resting, speaking. Contact does not wait for special conditions. It appears where awareness is already stable. In the next chapter, I will explain how astral, mental, and perceptual contact differ, and why confusing them often leads people to misinterpret their own experiences. Proceed without anticipation. Ordinary moments are the doorway.
Chapter 4. Astral, mental, and perceptual contact. How they differ. Not all contact feels the same, and confusing the channels is the fastest way to misinterpret what is happening. There are 3 primary expressions of contact once the interface is available. They differ not in importance, but in how awareness receives information. The first is mental contact. Mental contact does not sound like a voice. It does not interrupt your thinking, and it does not argue with you. It arrives as a complete understanding, a thought that feels finished before language forms, an insight that has no emotional charge, a knowing that does not require explanation. Mental contact is quiet. It feels neutral, almost ordinary, and because of that, it is often dismissed. If you find yourself suddenly clear about something you were previously unsure about without rehearsing the conclusion, that is mental contact. The second is perceptual contact. Perceptual contact does not appear as visions in front of your eyes. It appears as spatial awareness. You may sense structure instead of images, movement instead of pictures, geometry instead of symbols. It feels like understanding shape, distance, or relationship without seeing it, like knowing where something is without pointing to it. Perceptual contact expands awareness without pulling it away from the body. You remain present, you remain grounded. If stability widens but stability remains, that is perceptual contact. The third is astral or liminal contact. This occurs when awareness remains awake while the body enters rest. It often happens at the edge of sleep, during deep relaxation, or in moments where the body softens completely. Astral contact is not leaving the body intentionally. It is awareness staying coherent while physical sensation quiets. There is no loss of control, no blackout, no confusion afterward. If clarity remains after the experience and grounding returns naturally, that is astral contact. These channels do not compete, they often overlap. What matters is not which channel opens, but whether stability is preserved. If stability decreases, the experience is not contact. If clarity increases and life becomes simpler afterward, contact occurred. This is the key distinction. Contact never replaces your judgment. It never instructs you to act immediately, and it never separates you from your human responsibilities. It integrates information so your own discernment becomes sharper. Now we anchor recognition. Not to open any channel, but to remain clear about which one is active.
Type this in the comments exactly. I recognize clarity without force. As you write it, notice whether awareness stays calm. Notice whether the body remains present. That calm is the reference point. In the next chapter, I will explain why trying to force astral or altered states blocks contact, and how simplicity protects clarity. Proceed without effort. Recognition happens when stability leads. Chapter 5. Why forcing altered states blocks reception. The fastest way to block contact is to try to make it happen. This is the paradox most people never understand. They assume stronger effort creates stronger access. They push awareness, they chase sensations, they attempt to leave the body, silence the mind, or reach extreme states. And in doing so, they introduce noise. Forced altered states fragment the signal. They increase expectation, they activate control, they pull awareness out of regulation. Contact does not arrive in unstable conditions. It requires coherence, not intensity. When you force an experience, the nervous system tightens, breath changes, attention narrows or dissociates. That shift alone is enough to distort reception. This is why many people confuse imagination with contact. Imagination reacts to effort. Contact does not. Imagination escalates when you chase it. Contact withdraws. Because contact is not something you enter, it is something that appears when nothing interferes. This is why altered states created through pressure, exhaustion, or extreme focus often lead to confusion afterward. You may feel disoriented, you may feel inflated or depleted, you may feel the urge to explain or prove what happened. None of those are markers of contact. Contact leaves you more grounded than before, more oriented, more capable of ordinary life. If an experience weakens your ability to function, it is not reception, it is interference. This is also why contact rarely happens when people are trying to escape their lives. Avoidance creates instability. Instability blocks clarity. Contact does not remove you from reality. It refines how you participate in it. The moment you stop chasing altered states, the interface becomes quieter. And quiet is where reception occurs. This is not passive, it is precise. Presence without pressure, awareness without demand. Now we anchor this phase, not to suppress experience, but to remove interference. Type this in the comments exactly. I release the need to force. As you write it, notice the body soften. Notice breath return to its natural rhythm. Notice awareness widen without effort. That ease is not withdrawal, it is availability. In the next chapter, I will explain how contact integrates into daily life and why the most reliable sign of contact is not what you experience, but how you live afterward. Proceed gently. Reception responds to simplicity. Chapter 6. Integration: How Contact Changes Daily Life. Contact is not proven by what you experience in the moment. It is revealed by what changes after. This is where real integration begins. True contact does not separate you from daily life. It reorganizes how you move through it. You don't become distracted. You become more precise. Small decisions feel clearer. Certain options lose energy instantly. What once required effort now feels obvious. This is not excitement, it is alignment. After contact, your tolerance for internal contradiction drops. You notice when you say one thing but feel another. You sense immediately when an action is misaligned, not as judgment, as information. This is one of the strongest markers of integration. Another marker is simplification.
You feel less need to explain yourself, less need to convince, less need to chase confirmation. Noise becomes uncomfortable, not because it is wrong, but because it interferes with clarity. Your attention naturally returns to what matters. This is also why some things fall away. Certain conversations end, certain habits dissolve, certain pursuits no longer hold meaning. Not dramatically, quietly. Integration does not demand change. Change happens as a consequence of coherence. You also become more embodied. Your awareness stays present in the body. Your nervous system regulates faster. Stress resolves more cleanly. Even strong emotions pass without spiraling. This is not suppression, it is stability. And with stability comes responsibility. Contact does not give answers. It sharpens your ability to respond. You still make choices. You still carry consequences. You still live a human life. But now, feedback arrives faster. When something is aligned, momentum appears. When it is not, friction shows up immediately. This is not punishment. It is calibration. Integration means you stop chasing experiences and start listening to outcomes. Life itself becomes the interface. Now we anchor integration, not to hold on to contact, but to allow it to express through ordinary action. Type this in the comments exactly. I integrate clarity into action. As you write it, think of one simple decision you will make today with more presence than before. Integration does not require dramatic shifts. It requires consistency. In the final transmission, I will explain how to stay open to contact without becoming dependent on it, and why integration, not experience, is the real completion of this phase. Proceed grounded. Clarity belongs in life, not outside it.
Chapter 7. The subtle markers that appear after contact. After contact, nothing dramatic announces itself. There is no voice saying it happened, no sign demanding interpretation, no moment that needs to be declared. The markers are subtle, and that is intentional. One of the first markers is internal quiet. Not silence, but the absence of unnecessary commentary. Thoughts still appear, but they no longer compete for attention. There is more space between impulse and response. This space is not hesitation, it is clarity. Another marker is reduced urgency. You stop feeling rushed by imagined timelines. Decisions no longer feel pressured by fear of missing out. Time feels available instead of scarce. This does not slow you down, it makes you precise. You act when something is aligned, and you wait without anxiety when it is not. A third marker is emotional proportionality. Events still affect you, but reactions match the situation instead of exceeding it. You recover faster. You regulate naturally. You do not spiral. This is not detachment, it is stability. You may also notice changes in perception, but they are functional, not spectacular. You see patterns faster. You sense misalignment earlier. You recognize when something will not work before investing energy. This is not prediction, it is sensitivity. Another quiet marker is loss of interest in performance. You stop trying to appear awakened, spiritual, or advanced. You feel no need to explain your inner process. Truth becomes simple. Simplicity becomes comfortable. This is a sign many people overlook. After contact, the need to be seen diminishes, because awareness no longer needs external confirmation. You may also notice changes in your relationship with information. You consume less. You filter more. What is incoherent becomes obvious. This is not rejection, it is discernment. And finally, there is one marker that ties all the others together. You feel oriented. Not certain, not finished, not superior. Oriented. You know where your attention belongs. You know what drains you. You know what stabilizes you. And you trust that knowing without forcing it. These markers do not prove contact. They are the result of integration. They show that awareness expanded without losing the body, the self, or daily life. Now we anchor recognition. Not to create these markers, but to notice them without exaggeration. Type this in the comments exactly. I notice what has quietly changed. As you write it, do not search for proof. Just allow recognition to be enough. In the final transmission, I will explain how to remain open to contact without turning it into identity, and why completion comes from balance, not pursuit. Proceed without attachment. Subtle change is the strongest signal.
Chapter 8. Discernment versus Imagination. One of the final skills that emerges after contact is the ability to tell the difference between clarity and construction. This is discernment. Imagination is not a problem. It is a natural function of the human mind. But imagination becomes misleading when it replaces stability with stimulation. Imagination reacts to desire. Discernment responds to coherence. This is the simplest distinction. When imagination is active, there is urgency, a need to interpret, a need to explain, a need to repeat or intensify the experience. The mind wants more. When discernment is active, there is no chase, no pressure, no need to validate what happened. Clarity stands on its own. Imagination grows louder with effort. Discernment grows clearer with stillness. This is why forcing altered states feeds imagination and blocks contact. Imagination asks, "Did this mean something?" Discernment knows without asking. Another difference appears in after effects. Imagination leaves residue, confusion, inflation, doubt, a desire to convince others. Discernment leaves orientation. You know what matters, you know what does not, and you move on. No story required. Imagination pulls awareness upward or outward. Discernment anchors awareness through the body. If grounding weakens, discernment is not present. If life becomes harder to navigate, discernment is not present. Contact does not make life more complex. It simplifies decision-making. This is why imagination often feels exciting and discernment feels almost ordinary. The mind confuses excitement with truth, but truth rarely needs volume. Discernment also respects limits. It does not claim certainty where none exists. It does not fill gaps with fantasy. It allows not knowing without discomfort. This is maturity. And maturity is what allows contact to remain clean. So the question is never, was this contact? The better question is, did clarity increase and did life become easier to navigate afterward? If yes, recognize it and continue living. If no, ground, simplify, and let the experience dissolve. Nothing is lost. Imagination fades when it is not fed. Discernment strengthens when it is trusted. Now we anchor this distinction, not to suppress imagination, but to place it in the right role. Type this in the comments exactly. I choose discernment over interpretation. As you write it, notice the difference between wanting an answer and allowing clarity to settle. That settling is discernment. In the final transmission, I will explain how to stay open to contact without turning it into identity, and how to complete this phase with balance and autonomy intact. Proceed without urgency. Clarity does not rush.
Chapter 9. Staying open without turning contact into identity. The final challenge after contact is not fear. It is attachment. This is where many people lose clarity without realizing it. They begin to define themselves by the experience. They carry the label. They protect the story. And slowly, what was clarity becomes performance. True contact never asks you to become something new. It never asks you to adopt an identity, and it never asks to be remembered. It leaves no costume behind. Contact is not a role you play. It is a state you pass through. The moment you try to hold it, it collapses into imagination. This is why the most grounded people rarely talk about contact. They don't hide it. They don't deny it. They simply don't need to carry it forward. Contact sharpens perception so you can return fully to life, not to escape it, not to elevate above it, not to become different from others, but to participate more honestly. If an experience makes you feel special, separate, chosen, or elevated, clarity is already fading. Contact does not inflate the self. It dissolves unnecessary identity. It removes noise. It removes excess story. It removes the need to explain who you are. What remains is function. You become more accurate, more present, more responsible.
The preparation is over. Right now, in this quiet moment, the Arcturian interface opens, not with drama, but with crystal clarity. Feel your awareness steady, your body grounded, as complete knowing arrives without force. No more chasing altered states. True contact integrates silently into your walk, your breath, your choices. Subtle shifts whisper. Time thins, decisions sharpen, noise fades. You recognize it not by intensity, but by the calm precision that follows. Internal quiet, effortless discernment, life simplified. Stay present, consent without words. The window is here. Receive calmly, because you were always ready.